News at 11.
Good evening. We start with a developing story now at 11. A scary scene at the Grand Floral Parade this morning when a Portland man allegedly tried to hit parade goers with a truck. Thanks for joining us. I'm Evan Watson, in tonight for Blair Best. Portland police say the man drove his pickup through closed streets, veering toward both police officers and the crowd. Thomas Schultz joins us now. Thomas, what do we know about this driver?
Evan, Portland police say 42-year-old Sidney Sean Meacham drove his truck through the parade around 10 o'clock this morning. Hundreds of people were out on the streets to enjoy the festivities. Officials say Meacham refused to stop and rammed into parade barricades. Tread marks are all that remain from a reckless driver who drove through the Grand Floral Parade just minutes after it started. Police say they first spotted Sidney Sean Meacham driving east on East Weidler Street. That's when officers first tried to stop him, but Meacham allegedly refused and drove down Northeast MLK Jr. Boulevard through the parade. Meanwhile, parade goers on other parts of the route weren't even aware of what was happening. Portland police say officers pulled alongside Meacham's truck, continuing to order him to pull over, but he didn't. They say Meacham instead veered toward an officer on a motorcycle before driving toward the crowd. Officers say Meacham pulled off MLK Boulevard onto Northeast Wasco Street, where he allegedly nearly hit parade watchers on this curb. Police say several people were in danger of being struck. Eventually, Meacham allegedly rammed through a barricade, continuing to evade police, which began following the driver through its air unit. Meacham was finally arrested in a residential neighborhood at Northeast 24th Avenue and Northeast Clackamas Street, almost a mile and a half away from where he left the parade route, and police tracked Meacham. While many parade goers were unaware of the reckless driver. This evening, people on MLK Boulevard say they had no idea of the events which transpired just hours earlier. Meacham has been booked in the Multnomah County Detention Center. He's been charged with recklessly endangering another person, attempting to elude police, reckless driving, and disorderly conduct. Evan?
Thank you, Thomas. Ultimately, it was a fun morning for most of the parade goers at the Grand Floral Parade. Hundreds of people came out to Northeast Portland to check out the floats and the marching bands. The route kicked off at the Memorial Coliseum and ended at the Lloyd Center.
Really excited for him to see the parade. He's been talking about it all week.
If you missed the parade and want to see a certain element or aspect of it, we have a recorded live stream you can watch at KGW.com. Now let's go to meteorologist Joe Ranieri in the Weather Center. Joe, what are we looking at right now?
We're looking at very comfortable conditions out there, and it's going to be a little bit warmer heading into tomorrow. And Evan, I have one really hot day that comes on Monday, and I'm forecasting highs getting back into right around 90 degrees to kick off the work week. But for tomorrow morning, we are be waking up to a little bit of some clouds, but I'm expecting to see highs anywhere from 10, 15 degrees warmer in a few locations. We topped out right around the low to mid 70s for your highs today. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at temperatures right around the mid 80s. Again, tomorrow, right around 90 degrees. Yeah, and our summer-like weather is going to continue. The official start of summer is less than 2 weeks away, 11 days away from tonight. And currently you walk out there, you're looking at temperatures right around the upper 50s to low 60s, and our overnight lows will be dropping down into the upper 40s to low 50s. East side of the state, you're looking at temperatures right around 60 degrees. Now, we saw highs in the low 70s. This is where we should be for this time of year, and it's going to be a little bit warmer for tomorrow, a little bit warmer for Monday, and then we'll kind of even out heading into a good part of the week. I'm expecting to see temperatures right around the mid 70s heading into the middle part of next week, and there is a little bit of some changes moving on shore, but that's not going to be moving in until the end of next week. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Joe. New tonight, a woman is in the hospital after a fire at an apartment in Hillsborough. Crews were called out this afternoon to a home on Northeast 79th Avenue near Northeast Cornelius Pass in Cuauhtémoc. They say a woman had second-degree burns on about 20% of her body, including her face, arms, and chest, and her injuries are life-threatening. Firefighters tell us 2 other people were also in the home who weren't hurt. They aren't sure yet what caused the fire, but it didn't spread to any other homes. One person is dead and 2 others are hurt after a triple shooting overnight in downtown Portland. This happened just before 2 a.m. Police say someone shot 3 people on Southwest 3rd and Harvey Milk Street. One person died and another person's injuries are life-threatening. The 3rd victim is expected to survive. None of the names of the victims have been released, and Portland police have not released any information about a suspect. Well, June is LGBTQ Pride Month, and lots of people got out to celebrate in Tigard today with a parade this afternoon. It was hosted by the City of Tigard and the Tigard-Tualatin School District. City officials say it was important to them to celebrate diversity in Tigard, and it comes a day before another Pride celebration had to be canceled. A drag queen story time set for tomorrow was called off at the Tigard Library because of threats of violence.
There's enough hate already, especially with the drag queen show getting shut down, that this makes us even more and more important to show that we're a community here, and it's not going to go anywhere. And we're going to continue to be as loud as in your face as possible.
The Tigard Library as a whole will be closed tomorrow. The library says it's out of an abundance of caution. President Joe Biden celebrated Pride Month with a party at the White House today. The administration says it's the largest Pride event ever held at the White House.
You know, too many people in the LGBT community are worried and afraid about their future and their safety. So today, I want to send a message to the entire community, especially to transgender children. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood. And you belong.
The president is also urging Congress to pass the Equality Act, which would allow for federal protections for LGBTQ+ people. Ted Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber, was found dead in his prison cell today. He was 81. Kaczynski was convicted for a series of bombings targeting scientists. Those bombings started in the late 70s and lasted into the mid-90s before he was arrested. Dana Griffin reports.
The man known as the Unabomber died while serving 4 consecutive life sentences, decades after his reign of terror gripped the nation. Ted Kaczynski, the one-time mathematics prodigy, became infamous for eluding authorities. The only clue to his identity? This sketch, made after a witness saw him planting a bomb. Kaczynski played a deadly cat-and-mouse game with the FBI in a nationwide bombing campaign that stretched 17 years, becoming one of the Bureau's longest and most expensive investigations ever.
The FBI, the other agencies involved, are working on this with as much diligence as I've ever seen in an investigation.
His first homemade bomb detonated in 1978 at Northwestern University, injuring a security guard. The FBI would dub him a twisted genius for mailing or hand-delivering 15 more bombs over the years. His devices killed 3 and injured nearly 24 more, all while puzzling investigators for leaving behind no traceable evidence. In 1995, the Unabomber Task Force asked newspapers to publish a manifesto Kaczynski mailed them, hoping it would generate new leads. It did, when David Kaczynski recognized the thinking of his brother and reported him to the FBI.
It wouldn't have been right to allow him to hurt anyone else. He had to be stopped in some way, and that was the only way I could think to stop him.
On April 3, 1996, investigators arrested Kaczynski at his tiny cabin near Lincoln, Montana. There, they found journals detailing his crimes, just $32.80 to his name, and something else.
Federal agents have turned up a live bomb at the home of the man the government believes is the Unabomber.
Kaczynski's campaign of fear finally over.
Yes, sir, you're the Unabomber.
Are you the Unabomber? Ultimately, in 1998, he said he was, pleading guilty and spending the rest of his life in prison.